Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Stupid Boy NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry. We're on episode, I don't even know how many anymore. And we're starting another competition, surprisingly. And we're at Angel Mort, so I know it's just going to be the most pervy competition that I've ever seen in my life. But we'll see. Who knows? I wasn't ready emotionally, but Mion started the game without hesitation. Damn it, there was no turning back. I had to do this. There were many kinds of desserts before us. Some were easy to eat and some were not. So I had to get the dessert that was the easiest to eat before anybody got it. So what about the yogurt parfait? Oh yeah. Like aura, but not. But of course everybody seemed to be thinking the same thing. These explosions are literally going to murder me. Like, I'm going to be murdered. Everybody reached out for the same dessert as fast as they could. A white light flashed in front of our eyes and the parfait disappeared. My hands clasped with the others midair. Rena took the parfait. She was literally as fast as lightning. Damn it, I knew it. There was no way I could beat Rena in the opening move. We're into the comic relief stuff, I don't know. Like, I'll deal with the comic relief because, like, I understand that it's needed. She did that all in seconds. She's usually gentle and calm, but she's a totally different person right now. Really, it's terrifying. I see. Now I understand why people say women always have room for dessert. But in the special environment of Angel Mort, Kamede-kun wasn't far behind Rena. Grabbed the fruit parfait and swallowed it as if he was drinking, as if drinking from a beer from a mug. It looked very dynamic. Tomita-kun and Kumar-kun look at the extraordinary techniques Rena and Kamede-kun are displaying, but they seem to be very calm. They knew their advantage. As long as they kept a steady pace, they could eat more and eat faster than anybody else because there's two of them. Yeah, it's really unfair, actually. Rena and Kamede-kun are eating very fast, but they might slow down in the middle, so this was an unpredictable race. Especially since when I was a kid, I could eat, like my weight in food. So if there's two of them, I don't know. I shoved my dessert into my mouth and kept eating. I just kept eating. Ow, ow, ow. Damn it, my mouth got extremely cold when I swallowed a ball of ice cream. How could the others do this so easily? There's an idea. I should melt it for... What? What kind of bullshit is that? So we lost then. So Keiichi's over here trying to think of a way to melt his food and we lost. And then I'm gonna have to wear skimpy clothes and it's gonna be one of those things again. It would take too long to use body heat and I didn't have another source of heat with me. Exactly. He was one step ahead of me. I could order hot coffee too, but I'd still be one step behind him. I have to come up with something to melt my ice cream faster than hot coffee. Whoa, are we like out of body right now? Keiichi-kun held his head, screamed that line, and bent his neck backwards. When he gets like this, he always speaks. Very fun to listen to. But I had to concentrate. I needed to win this game. Oh, damn! Oh, damn! Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes! This is exactly what I want. Yes, please. Give me this. Destroy everybody, Rena. Oh my goodness, I love this. Oh, that was amazing. I was not expecting that at all. That was good. That was good. That was good. I was like, ah, here we go. Another fucking... It's freaking... Ugh. It's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be comic relief and just nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to sit through it until the murder shit happens. But no. Now we're the girl that's gonna literally tell us everything. She's the answer to everything. Rena. I was having so much fun. I was so thrilled that my heart was about to burst. I didn't care exactly because I was having too much fun or so much fun. E-chan always came up with such extraordinary games. Satoko-chan loves to play pranks. Rika-chan is very sneaky, but it's impossible to hate her. And Keiichi-kun is always so funny. I enjoy every day. I wish I could express how much I really do enjoy them by saying how happy I am. Sometimes I even feel anxious because I enjoy every day so much. There's as much misfortune and pain as there is happiness and pleasure in this world. And I know very well that they all come to you regardless of how hard you try. You'll have happy days regardless of how hard you try. You'll have unhappy days regardless of how hard you try. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to try hard. I can try to make my happy days even happier and last longer. In the same way, I can try to make my unhappy days happier and end faster. I struggle very hard to achieve that. That's why I'm going to enjoy the happy days I have now as much as I can. I must not take them for granted because they won't last forever. They won't. One day, all of a sudden, these happy days will come to an end. I know it. That's why. I was trying to enjoy the happiness I received today so that I wouldn't regret it, even if the world ended tomorrow. I noticed my hand stopped moving while I was thinking about these things. When spending time with my friends, I feel so happy that my heart might burst. I even love doing the punishments. Dude, this is so exciting! They're fun for me. I have friends. Dude, I am so ready to get into this girl's mind, dude. I'm so ready. Let's switch places, please. Time in which to be myself. I have a me that I love. I love everybody. I love Mi-chan, Satoko-chan, Rika-chan, and Keiichi-kun. I love everybody in my class and everybody in Okinomiya.
Rena の手が止まったね。さすがにあのペースじゃ長続きしないかな。チャンスだよ、岡村。竜軍山を抜かすんだ。
Jesus Christ! Please stop. These sound effects are killing me.
この俺に勝とうという時点で、蜂蜜杏仁豆腐よりやばいぜ。
レナさんしっかりしてくださいまし。監督を勝たせたら承知しませんですことよ。
私は負けませんよ。飲めと言われれば太平洋だって飲み干し。
どうしたレナ。
見てよ、ここからいよいよ圭一様の逆転劇のなあみんな。
レナ、どうしましたですか？
I had left the table.
ごめん、ちょっとお手洗い行ってくるね。
I was just so happy. I didn't care who won or lost this match. Of course, it's more fun when I go crazy to try and win. But I could never be happier than this. If I could seal this happiness in a piece of a crystal, I'd carry it around with me in my pocket. I'd use it as the heat to ward off the cold of hard days that are certain to come to me. I know they will. You're not truly happy when you feel happiness. When you're bored with the happy days and don't even realize that you're happy, that's when you've achieved true happiness. You only truly feel happiness when you're in a freezing cold environment. That's the only time your heart can feel the warmth of even a small happiness. On my way to the bathroom, I saw a waitress and customer arguing at the register. Customer was a woman. The waitress was trying to explain that the lady needed a ticket to seat because the restaurant was holding an event today. But the lady, saying she didn't know, was still trying to get a seat. After a while, the store manager was called and started apologizing to the lady. Who the fuck is this? Interesting.
チケットないなら入れないって表の見えるところにちゃんと張り紙しといてよ。
She has fucking art.
ったく客を何だと思ってんの？
Lady's eyes met mine. I guessed who it might be when I heard the voice, so I was prepared. Mom?
あら、レイナちゃんじゃない？
That's not Mom.
こんなとこで会うなんて奇遇よね。
あ、
He called me Rena.
どうもこんなとこで会うなんて本当に奇遇ですよね。
I held my hand out for a high five. She gave me one.
聞いてよ。ひどいのよ。今日はチケットがないと入れないとか言う。
そうみたいですね。
まあ仕方ないわね。ねえ、お店には入れなくて。
ええ、それをささどうぞこちらからどれでもお選びください。
The manager gave her a fake smile and led her to their showcase.
私はあの人はショートケーキみたいなねえレイナちゃん、あなたはどれがいい？
いいのいいの？は
本当にこういうのに目がないわね。
It's so weird hearing Rena speak, but not seeing her on screen.
どれでも好きなの選んでいいわよ。
じゃあ私もショートケーキでいいです。
あら、他にもこんなに可愛らしい。
なんだかとっても迷っちゃうけど、
そうじゃあショートケーキを2つとプチトリお持ち帰りでね。
She imitated the smile I usually made. I replied with the same big smile. Then I smelled the strong scent of her perfume and it made me sneeze.
あら、風邪？
Rena-san's perfume and I never seem to get along. Definitely like a sad aura, especially with the music going on. She knows me from the past because she calls me Rena, which I think is a distinction that was to be made like a while ago. I think there was a pretty big point about. I remember it being a pretty big thing how I was just like, oh, she's Rena, because her name just looks so similar to Rena, and I knew people named Rena, so it just kind of like clicked with me that her name's Rena. But then everybody was like, well, her name is Rena actually, but she used to be called Rena. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with this. I mean, I know that means that she knows me from the past, and I don't know how far back. Business card. We're gonna read the business card real quick. Oh, here we go. We're gonna learn all about it right now. Is that the freaking bust, waist, and hips? No, waist and hips are the same thing. Height, bust, waist and height, or is that weight and height? I feel like it might be weight if height's in there. Bust, weight, and height. I'm like set on that B means bust. Okay, anyway. No, because that's height. There's height. So what does H mean? I have no idea. Rena, I'm interested in indoor gardening. I want to make tea with the herbs I grow. I always enjoy your funny and interesting stories. We should go out sometime or somewhere next in private. Gentlemen's Club, Blue Mermaid, Private Manager Rena Mamiya. Interesting. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, something about manager makes me ugh. Something about manager makes me a little bit Are we meeting the main character for the first time? Is that girl? Is she the manager? Did they throw out manager last time just to throw me off? But this is the actual manager?
少なくとも 3日くらいの間は甘いものを見たく
No!
ケイチくん頑張りすぎだったもんね。
No! I don't want to be you, Keiichi-kun. Please leave me alone. Ah, I'm so disappointed. It was only for like a couple seconds that I was Rena. Or Rena. I apologize. I'm not going to start that again. Freaking, I want to be
女の
Rena.
子には胃袋が4つくらいあるんじゃないか。デザート用に確実に1つは余計にあるに違いない。
まあレディーになんたる暴言ですの。そんなこと言うケイチさんにはこうでございますことよ。
My bloated stomach.
やめて。お腹は押さないで。中身がはみ出る。
Rika and Satoko... Wait, Satoko and Rika-chan grinned mischievously upon hearing that. The chill ran up my spine. Why were they smiling like that and walking towards me so gleefully?
やめろお前ら。血とか涙とかはねえの
Stop
かよ。
throwing that word around!
千載一遇のチャンスを見逃す私と。ケイチの膨らんだポンポンが大変な。ケイチくんのポヨンポヨンのポンポンかいいよ。
やめろ。
Rena joined Satoko and Rika in torturing me. We were still making a lot of noise outside the restaurant. I desperately blocked my stomach from their attacks, but someone else hit me from behind.
誰だ。
ハロロン。ケイちゃんとその愉快な仲間の皆さん、こんにちはです。
お、しーちゃんだ。こんにちは。あれれ、今日はお店にいなかったよね。
私、今日は夜のシフトなんです。さっき来て着替えたばかりですよ。
それはそうと。お前よくその格好で店の外。
大したことないですよ。あられもない姿で村中を練り歩いた誰かさんよりは恥ずかしくないです。
How do we know Shion in this one? I don't know. I don't remember how we regularly meet Shion. I guess we just always meet her in that restaurant.
それはそうと、今日は皆さん
いつもの部活になっちゃった以上。
店内とんでもお姉も責任を感じたようで、みんなに混じって掃除をやってます。
やっぱり私たちも掃除に加わった方が。
ああ、それはさすがにお客様に掃除はさせられませんか。
そもそも一番散らかしたのはミー本人だと思いますです。
それでお姉から伝言です。皆さんは先に帰っててくれていいそうです。いいよ、
待ってるよね、みんな。
Of course, we decided to wait without hesitation. Satoko, Rika, Chan, and I all nodded
手
along.
伝えないならせめて終わるの帰っていいからって言って先に帰るとあいつ寂しがると思うからな。
ほう、ケイちゃんも日進月歩、少しは成長する。
まあね。レナたちがちゃんと教育してるからね。ねえ。ですわよ。ミパ
なんだよ。こういう時だけ女どもは結束しやがって。
Oh, Rena is hiding behind. Not a good look, Rena. Can't just hide behind people like that. In the end, we ended up making a lot more noise, even dragging Shion into this mess this time.
シオン、あんたいつまでさ、雑巾どこやったの。ありゃいけね。じゃあ私はもう戻りますね。
みーちゃん、お掃除まだまだかかりそう？
何みんなおじさんを待っててくれてるわけ？余計な気。まったくもう。
Mion looked happy to see us waiting for her, but she always says the opposite of what she thinks. I wonder when she'll grow up and be able to just honestly say thank you.
バカ、仲間だろ。終わるまで待っててやるよ。
レナたちもごめんね。
だからいいって。今日ね、シオンの仕事終わるの待ってから。だから本当に大丈夫。気持ちだけでも感謝するよ。
あら、なんだか悪いですわね。なんか悪い気がするかな。
人は大勢いるから大丈夫だよ。風が冷たくなる前にみんなひなみ沢に戻りな。
わかりましたのです。 みー、お掃除、ファイト、王です。
お、ありがとね。じゃあケイちゃん、お嬢様方のエスコートをよろしく。途中で死角に襲われないようにしっかり護衛するんだよ。
Looking around, I didn't see any ladies who needed an escort. I felt more like I was the one who needed protection. Anyway, we said our goodbyes, making it easier for us to end the day and go home.
じゃあね、みーちゃん。また明日ね。
また明日ね。
よっしゃ行こうか。
We waved at Mion until she went back inside the restaurant, and after that we all got on our bicycles and left Okinomiya. What the fuck? I was so excited to play freaking Rena. Now we're not Rena. Put me back on Rena. On the way home we talked about how exciting it had been that day, and it looked like everyone was still fired up. We had the horrifying punishment in the competitive eating contest, which turned into an unprecedented battle involving all the customers in the restaurant. After that, everything got crazy and messy. At first, the waitresses didn't know what to do, but after a while, they ended up joining in. We had a blast. What?
でしたのよね。その時の富田さんと岡村さんたら、もうおかしく。結局、亀田も入江も。
いやいや、しかし俺の演説もなかなかだ。あの時は店全体が俺の味方だったよな。
圭一は生まれる時代と国が違ったら、ひょっとするととんでもない人になってたかもな。こんな口先男がですの？どこの国に生まれてもろくな人間にはならないと思いますでございますわね。あと100年も早く生まれていたらお札になっていたかもですよ。圭一さんのお札なんてなんだか貧しいですわね。きっと200円札とか300円札とかそのぐらいの数でしたよ。
Satoko, I will punch you in the face. Satoko and Ricochet cut up their continuous chatter. I was a bit tired after the day's event, so I just listened quietly. I noticed the wind was getting colder. Our shadows were getting longer as well. Satoko and Rika-chan still had a lot of energy left, but what about Rena? She'd been very quiet. Maybe she also had a stomach ache from eating too much. I looked at Rena to see. However, I was wrong. Rena was... I didn't really know how to describe it. She looked very satisfied. She looked like she really did have that much fun. She looked like she was as happy as she could ever be. I could tell all that without her saying a word. When I looked at her, it made me realize that the word fun wasn't enough to describe what we did today.
今日一日本当に楽しかった。
圭一君は？
俺も最高に今日みたいなことが明日や明後日もあれ。
それはレナも今日のお店の中での時間だけが永遠だったらいいなって思った。
おお、詩的なことを言うな。
I kind of wish that too, but if, like me playing as Rena, I wish that would have lasted forever.
圭一君は思わなかった？
That would have been so many answers, dude. We would have gotten so many answers. If we would just play this Rena the whole game. Rena didn't notice that I made fun of her. I might have been a little tactless. Suddenly I regretted having said it. What did I say? It's not...
いや、
I don't know.
俺も同感だよ。
でもね、圭一君、別に今日だけが最高に幸せってわけじゃないんだよ。
A cool wind blew through her hair. She smiled at me, and for some reason, she looked very mature. Her appearance made my heart skip a beat.
私たちのひなみ沢での日々は、どの一日だってかけがえのない大切。たとえ部活がお流れになっちゃって退屈な一日だったとしても。
レナは大人な考え方ができるんだな。
Rena, you think about things in a very mature way.
そんなことない。本当はまだまだはしゃぎ足りない。興奮がまだ冷めないだけなのかもね。
Rena laughed, and that made me laugh too. Totoko thought that we were laughing because we said bad things about her, and she started bugging me about it. Once again, we made a lot of noise like we always do.
では、僕とサトコはここでお別れなのです。リカ、もう少しご一緒してタバコ屋さんで曲がってもいいではありませんの？ 豆電球が切れたのを忘れましたです。豆電球がないと寝るときに真っ暗になってしまいますで。それは困りますわね。
Our night light broke, so it would be quite hard to sleep.
あ、牧野さんの雑貨屋さんならここでお別れだね。これ以上行っちゃうとどんどん遠回りになっちゃうからね。
Mako-san's general store. Oh, right, that's where it is. If they wanted to make a stop at the store before going back to the shrine, turning here would be the quickest way.
そっか。じゃあな、リカちゃんにさとこ。また明日な。
また明日なのです。それではですわ。ケイチさんにレナさん。じゃあね、二人とも。バイバイ。
Rika-chan and Satoko waved at us many times, and then took the narrow path through the field. Once the noisy girls were gone, it went especially quiet all of a sudden. It even made me feel as if the sun had set in an instant. I could see my house by now, which everybody called the Maepara Mansion. I didn't notice it earlier because of how fired up we all were, but my stomach was about to burst. The growling in my gut felt like thunder. My body must have been paying the price for me acting like an idiot earlier. There was no way I was eating dinner that night. I'd need to tell my mom before she started cooking. But before anything, I had to get to the bathroom. Ugh. My stomach was churning. Oh boy. It really didn't sound good. We got to the place where I'd always meet Rena in the morning and say goodbye in the evening.
今日はすっげえ楽しかったな。
すっごい楽しかった。
Okay, quickly, transfer me over to Rena before you leave.
あれ、ケイチくん具合悪い。
すまん。お腹をおとなしく休むことにするよ。
ケイチくんもまだまだお腹の鍛え方が。
レナだって俺と同じくらい食べ。一体その細っこい体のどこにあれが収まる。
それは女の子の秘密ってことで。
Giggled and tried to avoid giving me an answer. She probably hit me if I pressed her about it. If she punched me in the stomach, I'd throw up for sure. So I decided not to go any
じゃあ
further.
な。また明日な。
また明日ね。
俺さ、前は都会に住んでたわけ。
Is that a new Rena face? I think that's a new Rena
こんな
face.
にも一日一日を楽しいと思って過ごしたことは、俺ひなみ沢に引っ越してきてさ、きっと幸せなんだって思う。
レナも同じだよ。ほら、私もこんなに楽しい幸せな日々を送れるのが。
そっか、なら明日も絶対に楽しいな。
But she's been here before, we know that.
そうだよ。昨日も今日も楽しかったんだもん。きっと明日だ。
こんなにも毎日が楽しいと、なんだかある日突然転びそうで怖いよな。
転ぶときはどんなに注意してても転ぶよ。だからいつ転んでもいいように思いっきり今を楽しむのが
そうだな。今を精一杯楽しむのが正解だな。
じゃあね、ケイチくん、おばさまとおじさまにも。さて、また宝の山に宝。
まだ遊び足りないって。つくづくタフなやつだな。負けた。
どう？よかったらケイチくんも一緒に来ない？新しい山があってね、まだ全然何かとっても可愛いのが見つかるかも。
悪いけど俺はパスするよ。それになんだか雲が重たくなってきたみ。レナも今日はおとなしく帰宅。
ほう、こういう素敵な気分の日にはね。だからちょっとでも行って。
Felt sick. I felt sick enough that I didn't feel like going with her. If I felt better, I would have gone treasure hunting with her for sure. She didn't want to go home yet because she didn't want the fun day to end. It's exactly how I felt too.
分かったよ。じゃあな。可愛いのがあったらぜひ。
じゃあね、バイバイ。
Transfer me. Yes! Keiji-kun waved over and over as if he didn't want to say goodbye yet. Thank God! Awesome. While he was gone, well, I had to go too because I was going to go treasure hunting. I love cute things. I had such a wonderful day today that I'm sure I was going to get lucky at treasure hunting. I definitely will find some wonderful treasures. What does that mean? I pedaled my bicycle with determination. My house was nearby, but I took another street that led to the damn construction site. It might have been okay to go home just then, but I hesitated to go since I didn't want to be seen. I had so much fun today, and I wanted to continue feeling happy as long as I could. It was already getting late, but I felt like it was getting dark faster than usual. Just like Keiichi-kun said, the clouds in the sky were growing darker. It might start raining hard.
でも別にだからって家に帰れるわけじゃないんだし。
Stop it, Rena. You had so much fun today. You have to stay happy as long as you can. I'm happy. I enjoy every day. Rena, say it. Say the magical words.
はう。
Don't be embarrassed. You're not dumb or anything. I might be able to enjoy every day more if I were dumb. If so, dumb is what I'd want to be.
はう。かいのあるかなかな。お持ち帰り。
There. I said it. Sure, I can find something cute. As long as I believe it's cute, anything can be that way. I should fill my heart with happy memories of today and yesterday. I should look forward to the happiness I'm going to receive tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, too. I reached the damn construction site, a mountain of trash. This is so exciting. A mountain of trash loomed before me. I parked my bicycle and walked down the mountain of trash and scrap. This place is my castle. It would be incredible if anyone else came to this mountain of trash. I've come here many times and I usually stay here for a long while, but I've never seen anybody walk by. This place is the village's blind spot. I heard that many people come here all the time during the dam war. Many people came here all the time during the dam wars, but it was abandoned after that. The villagers no longer need to come here, so some people even forgot about it entirely. It seems like they dump trash here at midnight, but I've never seen a truck actually dumping trash, at least. If they dump new trash more often, it'd give me more time to kill. More time to kill. That is an interesting statement. To give me more time to kill, or give me more time to kill. I don't know which one it is, but it looks like it's not going to happen for a while. I walked down the slope of the trash pile, all the way down to the bottom. That is a weird sentence. Give me more time to kill. Now, nobody ever comes here. I've come here many times and I usually just stay for a long while, but nobody has ever come to mess up this place. Not even the other kids from my school come here. They all believe that the arm of the manager of the construction site is buried somewhere in these trash piles. And they also believe the whole place is haunted. They told me that a ghost with one arm still wanders around here looking for his missing limb. Sadly, I haven't seen the ghost either. I'm not scared. In fact, I'd rather like to meet him. I wouldn't mind helping him find his arm. If he's feeling lonely, I'd want him to be my conversation partner. There's a station wagon buried in the trash pile. It doesn't have tires, but other than that, it looks like a station wagon. The station wagon is my secret hideout. Unfortunately, the sliding door and rear doors weren't open. So whenever I want to get in, I have to enter the car from the passenger seat and crawl into the back from there. Of course, I take off my shoes at the passenger seat. When you look at it from the outside, it's just a dirty, abandoned car. But on the inside, it's nice and clean, because I had swept it out and decorated it a little. It took me a long time. The back seats are lying flat because I wanted to have as much space as possible. Found a mattress in the trash pile and put it into that space instead. It was a bit dirty, so I brought a bed sheet from home and covered the mattress with it. Put my favorite cushions on top, and with that it turned into a perfect bed. I put my cushions and stuffed animals everywhere. That's not all. Look at this. I have a bunch of sweets here too. I have a bag of fruit candy in 4 different colors, and some cookies. They're going bad. I have to throw them away. My bear-shaped water bottle was empty. When I come here to spend some time on Sundays, I usually bring this water bottle with some sweetened tea in it. I have a box of tissues, a flashlight, extra batteries, and other daily necessities in here. I also have a few books to read in order to kill some time while I'm at it. Dude, this is some shit that I used to do. Just fucking, well, not necessarily go to a junkyard and sit, but I used to fucking just take walks and like just sit somewhere for like hours and just stare at the sky. Dude, I used to do that shit all the time. And I have this. What do you think this is? Look. Ta-da! My hideout is suddenly lit up thanks to the table lamp. There's an electric outlet on the side of an old nearby construction office. Though I thought they had cut the power years ago, but to my surprise, I was wrong. Electricity is still being supplied to the outlet. When I found tons of extension cords, I came up with the idea to connect them all to make electricity come all the way to my hideout. Now I can spend time here comfortably with some sweets, books, and lights. If I wanted to, I might be able to spend a night here. But I may catch a cold since it gets very cold at night. Dude, relatable. Dude, this is fucking Why is this oddly relatable? At first I thought somebody would find it and mess with it. She just found her own little place that she comes and just relaxes for like hours. I used to do that shit, dude. That's crazy. That's because nobody comes here and everybody forgot about this place. That's how this place came to be my perfect secret hideout. Fortunately, I ate so much today that I'm still full. I can tell them that I was playing with my friend at her house and ate dinner there. I'm gonna stay here for a while and relax. I'm gonna treat myself. I loved the water gun battle yesterday. My heart had been pounding since when I fought the one-on-one with Keiichi-kun. I also had great fun at Angel Moore today. I'd never experienced such a crazy game with so many people in my life. I was still feeling the after effects, and I was sure I'd have a dream about it tonight. That was why I wanted to bask in these happy feelings. That was why I'm going to treat myself in here. I should take off my shoes and stretch my toes. I should cherish the time when I can be myself. Once I took off my shoes, I felt so relaxed that I didn't want to put them on again. I played all day today and I was very tired. The treasure hunt could wait. As it got darker, the light of the table lamp became encouraging. It really was getting dark faster than usual. All of a sudden, I heard the sound of raindrops hit the roof of the car. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The interval between drops got shorter and... Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my god. Oh, I need to turn my sound down, at least over on my end. Oh my god. It became a continuous sound. I began to hear thunder. Please, no more. Even though I thought it was raining heavily, I remained quiet inside the car, making me feel like I was in a different world. It's my castle, after all. It felt a bit cold, so I unfolded my big blanket and hid under it. I'm here alone, under the warm blanket that has my scent. Even though nobody knew where I was at the moment, and I feel like I was alone in the heavy rain, I still feel secure and free from anxiety for some reason. I feel that, dude. I felt this heavy rain was keeping my enemies away from my castle. I liked it that way. This place is full of small happiness. It's full of my favorite things. That's why I'm happy whenever I'm here. Whenever I put the blanket over me, I felt as if I were warm. As warm as if I were in bed. I listened to the soothing sounds of raindrops hitting scrap iron in the trash heaps, and it made me feel sleepy. This is a castle of trash. This trash came here because nobody wanted it. This is where it lives. This is a country where unwanted refuse to live together. Refuse, where unwanted refuse lives together. I felt like I fit in here, but at the same time I knew it was just a temporary place for me. There's somewhere I had to go back to. No, I shouldn't think about things like that. Whenever I realize that I don't belong here, I remember that I'm in the middle of a very dirty pile of trash. I should just doze for a little bit longer. Thinking is poisonous. I wanted to keep myself out of that poison so that the kind Rena within me could stay pure. A little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Close my eyes. Man, I used to do that shit too. There was a period in time where I had a girlfriend, like back in high school, and I straight up waited in the rain for her to like, so she was like, I was her only ride from practice, and I promised her I would like be her ride, and so I just like sat in the rain and watched the practice until she was done, and then I like went and picked her up. I used to just stare at the sky even though it was raining. I would just like force myself to keep my eyes open, just like think about stuff. What's going on here? My mother was a very busy woman. The harder she worked, the more her work was valued, and she kept getting promoted. She sought to go higher and higher. She was always shining. She was my hero. My mother started her career at a fashion designer small clothing factory in Okinomiya. My father was a designer too. They met through their jobs and soon got married. They lived in a small apartment in Okinomiya, but they moved to my grandma's house, our current house in Hinamizawa, when she got pregnant with me. We lived there until right before I went to elementary school. Now that I think about it, that was the happiest time of my life. I felt happy every day and believed without a doubt that tomorrow would be the same. I was so happy that I took it for granted and didn't even feel the happiness. I really did feel happy every day. I was small at that time and didn't really understand what was going on, but it seemed like the company my parents were working for was having financial difficulties. My mother and a few other young designers started talking about leaving the company and going independent. After many things happened, the situation grew complicated. They got an offer to work at a big design firm in Ibaraki, and they took the offer. At that time, I overheard my mother saying many difficult words like limited partnership and business alliance, but in short, what she wanted to do was move to Ibaraki. My mother and her peers were hired because their talent and experience made them immediate assets at their new company. However, my father wasn't one of them. Unfortunately, my father wasn't as talented as my mother was. So moving to Ibaraki meant my father had to give up being a fashion designer. My mother's new company had high expectations of her talent and promised her a responsible project. She didn't want to waste her growing talent and passion by living in a rural town like Hinamizawa. So my mother convinced my father to quit his job and move to Ibaraki and support her to help her build her career. Back then, moving meant that I had to say goodbye to my close friends. I didn't want to move, but I kept crying about it, and I kept crying about it. There's some like relatable moments in freaking Rena's backstory. Rena's backstory is like really relatable for some reason. After we moved to Ibaraki, my mother was a big success. Not only did she have great leadership skills, she was full of energy, and I believe she made the best use of her talents to succeed. She came home late every night and barely had any days off. When she had a big project, she often stayed entire nights at her office. But when she came home, she always looked fulfilled and wore a happy smile that she had never worn when she was in Hinamizawa. She was shining, and I remember I always wanted to shine like her when I grew up. On the other hand, my father wasn't doing so well. He couldn't find a job as a fashion designer, so he took a clerical job at a small company, but he kept changing positions. He couldn't use the experience that he cultivated, and it was very hard for him. But he was very understanding. He started to take care of things around the house for my mother, who got busier and busier, having one project after another. He cleaned the house, did the laundry, and came to my school events. However, he couldn't cook. He did cook rice, but he always bought side dishes from the grocery store. We ate dinner without my mother more and more often. I guess she's busy again. Every time I said that, he always told me your mother was working very hard. Let's support her, Rena. That was what he's always told me. I decided to help my father with the cooking. I thought it was a good idea to learn how to cook since he wasn't very good at it. Yeah? Whenever my mother cooked, I helped her and tried to learn how to cook from her. She apologized for not having enough time to cook for us, but she was happy that I was learning. I think I wrote in my school yearbook that I wanted to be a clothing designer in the future, just like my mother. But apparently I lacked my mother's exceptional sense of style. She used to tell me taste is something that you're born with, not something that you cultivate. I remember I was discouraged to be a designer because of that. That's why I decided to reach her by getting better at things she wasn't good at, instead of trying to be like her. I wanted to be good at not only cooking, but also doing other things around the house, such as cleaning, doing laundry, and grocery shopping. I remember my father was really happy that I did all of that for him, because he wasn't good at it at all. He couldn't find a job and spent a lot of time at home, so he seemed to enjoy spending time doing housework and his daughter more than anything. I started to become better and better at filling in for my mother. She started to get too busy to do any of the housework at all, so she moved on to a more responsible position. At her job. She took me out to many places as if to compensate for leaving me alone all the time. She always used to say, "Let's go eat something delicious without telling your father," and then took me out to a restaurant. She took me to high-class restaurants and amusement parks. Sometimes it was only me and my mother. Sometimes it was with her and her friends from work. She took me to a beach barbecue one summer with those friends. I was introduced to her daughter, and every one of them pampered me. I still remember there was this one guy who particularly doted on me. He was a good-looking young man. I called him Uncle once, and he got mad at me. He was nicely tanned with dyed brown hair. Oh, I see where this is going. This young man often came out with us when we went out. When my mother took me somewhere, she usually made several phone calls for her work during the days, and sometimes took me out to a place where she could also do her work at the same time. Jesus. I didn't feel awkward when the people from her work came with us. This is about to be a really relatable story. But I always preferred to be alone with her, so I was happier when we could do that. One day she took me to a very high-end part of town. Of course, she always spoiled me whenever we went out. She bought me things and let me eat whenever I wanted, or whatever I wanted. She especially spoiled me on that day. She took me to many expensive-looking boutiques and accessory stores. She was about to buy me something, but I told her not to get it because it didn't look good on me. Without hesitation, she bought it anyway. I remember there were many zeros on the price tag. On that day, I realized my mother's design work had made her a very successful woman and she was earning a lot of money. We took a break at a ridiculously expensive-looking restaurant that probably charged 1,000 yen for a glass of orange juice. My mother clapped her hands and spoke to me with a smile on her face. She asked, "Rena, would you like to make your dream come true?" When I was in kindergarten, my teacher gave students a topic to draw a picture of. The topic was my dream, and I drew myself eating a mountain of fruit parfait all by myself. What my mother meant to say was that she was going to make my dream come true for me. It was a normal day. It wasn't my birthday or anything, but since my mother always spoiled me, when we went out together, I didn't feel awkward about it at all, and I accepted her offer with a happy smile. There were 5 or 6 fruit parfaits in front of me. I remember it looked exactly like the world I drew, and I felt like I was floating in that dream world. It was too much for us to finish, but we dug out our spoons as if we dug our spoons into it as if we were playing in the mud. We really enjoyed eating it together. It was my first time to experience getting full by only eating fruit parfaits, and I remember I was very happy. I enjoyed tasting the happiness and chatting with my mother.
レイナちゃん、この間映画とお食事に行った時、一緒だった人のことを覚えてる？
Mm-hmm.
秋人おじさんだっけ？はう、お兄さんって呼ばないとぶたれる。
レイナちゃんは秋人さんのこと好き？
嫌い。いつもレイナのことからかうもん。
それは大好きだからちょっかいを出して、バーベキューの時はとっても仲良くしてたじゃん。
たまには仲良しかな。かな？
I didn't know why she brought up the subject, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I was too young. Now that I think about it, she was breaking the news. I just didn't notice it.
ねえ、レイナちゃんはお母さんとお父さんとどっちが好き？
I fucking hated this question when I was a kid, dude. Oh my god. That was the worst question.
お母さん。
It wasn't that I hated my father or anything, but I thought that giving her that answer was appropriate after she spoiled me so much.
も
I
しも
hated that
お
question.
母さんとお父さんが別々のお家に住むことになったら、レイナはどっちのお家に住みたい？
Yeah.
お母さんね、
It's a tough situation. This is a relatable ass
お
story.
父さんと別れて秋人おじさんと結婚しようと思うの。
Is Rena me? They take it? Nah. There's definitely some differences, but Jesus, man. I didn't know at this time, but she was drafted by a headhunter to work at a bigger company, where she was promoted to a higher and more responsible position, one where she could bring out the most of her talent. But of course, the position wasn't the only thing she gained. Compared to my father's low salary, my mother was earning enough money to support a family of 3 and still have some left over. I kind of realized that from the way she'd spent money. The greater position she achieved, the more she spent with the people at her level. All of them were bright and talented. Compared to them, my father might have looked unattractive to her. I liked Uncle Akito, but I liked him as one of my mother's friends. Not in the same way I liked my father. I liked my father and my mother equally. Aw, yeah, see? So it was shocking to me that my mother wanted to divorce him. I felt as if the ground below me was beginning to crack. That expression, I realized, actually fit my situation very well. I had to choose which side of the cracked ground I wanted to stand on. That's some sad shit, dude, because that's... God, dude! My mother told me to live with her at her new house. Her new house meant the house Uncle Akito lived in. I thought a house was a sanctuary for her family. I believed that a house was a holy place where strangers couldn't easily enter. That was why I couldn't believe her. How could she let a stranger invade such a holy place so easily? Why do you hate my father, dude? My mother looked down and didn't answer. I asked her another question. Why can't you stay with my father? I think that was the hardest and most heartbreaking questions for my mother to answer. In short, my mother had cheated on him. He loved another man who was more attractive than my father. It was just that and nothing more. I knew more than anybody that it was my father's fault. First of all, he decided to move to Hinamizawa to support my mother as much as he could. For him, nothing good had come from that. Actually, I think he had a very tough time since we moved to Ibaraki. But he volunteered to be her support, and he tried very hard to do that. I thought my mother appreciated his support. So, I took her decision as betrayal. told her that I disagreed with everything, including their divorce. I said it very loudly and made everybody in the store jump. Sure. Continue your relationship with Uncle Akito, but don't divorce my father. I feel bad for him. I feel terrible for him. I've been doing nothing but supporting you patiently this whole time. How could you do such a cruel thing to him? I screamed as loud as I could. My mother answered. It's... Why? You haven't talked with my father about this, have you? It's not too late.
お母さんね、妊娠してるの。
Ha! Now that did not happen. That's not a thing that happens. Goodness. That's some crazy stuff. I don't know whether my mother actually told him about the divorce in person. A middle-aged woman who called herself a lawyer came to the house several times to talk with my father on my mother's behalf. She sometimes called him too. My father begged the lawyer to let him speak directly to my mother many times, but it never happened. I could tell by the way that they talked that he had no clue that my mother told him she wanted a divorce. Well, again, I'm not even sure if she told him in person. The lawyer told him not to meet my mother and not to call her at work, and many other things too. To top it all off, she told him not to see my mother ever again. He wanted to talk to her. He called some of their mutual friends, but he only found out the name of the guy she was having an affair with and nothing more. He asked me, "Do you know the guy?" I told him I do. I also told him he was a funny guy and he'd given me candy many times. I'll never forget how he looked when I told him that. He hit me, Jesus Christ. See, like, I don't know. And then I started to cry too. I didn't cry because he hit me. Uncle Akito was kind to me, so I liked him and talked to him out of courtesy. That wasn't it. Girls had to be kind to everybody. That's not a true statement at all. Many rude girls, actually. That's what I thought, but I was wrong. Yeah. I learned in this world there are people that you should be nice to, and enemies you shouldn't be nice to. The enemies are the ones who would destroy my life with their very existence. Whether they mean to harm me or not doesn't matter. Like weeds growing in a flower bed. Dandelions are innocent, but they take all the nutrition from the tulips in the soil. That's why we have to pull them out. The dandelions did not. But they're the enemy. Enemies are bad people. That guy was a bad person. I shouldn't have accepted him. I rejected him with everything I had. By doing so, I might have been able to disrupt the relationship. By doing so, I might have been able to make my mother feel like their relationship was not going to work. If I tried to do so, my parents wouldn't have had to break up. Dude, we're fucking, oh my god. Father and I cried together, but we cried for different reasons. He must have cried because it happened so fast and it didn't make any sense to him. I cried because I regretted that I had let it happen. And I had the chance to prevent it. This makes me really sad. I didn't expect to be really sad right now. It's so fucking relatable. I gotta end it though. It's a 59. My father stroked my cheek, opened his mouth to apologize, but he couldn't speak and just cried with me. One day, the lawyer let me see my mother. My mother asked me to live with her at her house again. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept looking down and listened to her apologies. My father knew that I was going to see my mother on that day. So he handed me a letter and told me to give it to her. I don't know what he wrote in that letter, but for some reason I was able to imagine what kinds of things he wrote when I felt it through the envelope. After all, the letter inside the envelope had a rough surface. He must have been crying while writing the letter, and his tears made all the letter wrinkled when it dried. My mother took the letter from me and told me that she'd read it later, and was about to put it in her bag. I stopped her and told her to read it there. I wanted to see how she was going to take the last words that my father had left to her. But my mother didn't read it. She told me she wanted to read it alone later and put it in her bag. At that time, I realized. No, it was more than that. I should say I knew because it was so obvious. I knew that my mother was lying. She had no intention of reading my father's letter. She was going to throw it away after I was gone, but she lied just because she wanted to seem like a nice person in front of me. A slight curl of her eyebrows and lips told me more clearly than anything else. At that moment, I finally knew something else. The guy she was having an affair with wasn't the only bad person. My mother was also a bad person. We're starting to diverge a little bit. Since that moment, the existence of my mother disappeared from my world like dry ice evaporating. I didn't have to hesitate about whom to live with anymore.
あなたの家には行きません。私の家は竜宮の。もうあなたとも会いたくありません。二度と呼ばないでください。
でもねレイナ、お父さんの方に残ったらこれからの生活。
That moment I hated my name for the first time in my life. Hey, okay.
私のこと気安くレイナって呼ばないで。失礼します。さようなら。
Those words were my last words to my mother. No, to the woman who used to be my mother. After all that, I spent many days without feeling anything. I didn't know if the days were long or short. I didn't know which season I was living in. Nothing out of the ordinary, not having my mother around. There was supposed to be nothing out of the ordinary, not having my mother around. But every time my father saw things that reminded him of her, like her toothbrush, her teacup, her favorite books, he shed tears, which left me frustrated. That's why I decided to completely remove her belongings from the house. I roughly threw her things into a black trash bag. Started doing so frantically. By the time I knocked down her wardrobe, threw her music box hard on the ground or on the floor, broke her mirror, mine was already not working properly. And I tried to remember what happened after that. I feel disoriented. That's because the pills the doctor gave me back then made me feel disoriented and lethargic every time I took them. It seems that dullness hit me especially hard, since every time I try to remember that time, it makes me feel disoriented and lethargic, just like the pills made me feel. I destroyed everything and smelled like my mother, or that smelled like my mother. But the thing I wanted to destroy the most might have been myself. After I threw all of her belongings away, I couldn't stop feeling regret, and I decided to blame myself in the end. Maybe I was thinking that I wanted to do damage to her reputation and successful life by destroying her daughter, destroying myself. And I was about to reach that very last resolution. Yashiro-sama came to me. Oh fuck! I went from real sad to real excited in a second. I gotta end it there because it's 1 hour and 4 minutes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been two people playing NegativeAE. We've been playing some Higurashi. Wow, that was an emotional trip that I just went on. It's reminded me of everything that happened when I was a kid. Well, not really. It wasn't even really when I was a kid. Well, it was kind of. My whole life has been that. Back and forth with my family. Wow, relatable story until it was relatable up until it was like I hate you, mother, because I don't know, I still I still love both my parents. They're both amazing. They've supported me through a lot of stuff, and they've giving me a roof to live over, as well as kind of been there when I've been down and sad. So I appreciate both of them, and they've both been major parts of my life. But man, was it hard growing up with them. There's a lot of emotional roller coasters, much like that story that Rena just told. But it really made me relate a lot to Rena, and until like the very end there. Now I'm interested. I'm interested because I never took any pills. I was just gotta like. I feel like if you take pills, you're like weak. I don't know. I not to say that, because I know that people like need pills to survive, right? Like there's like people that are sick and like need pills, but like whenever I take pills, I don't know. I just feel like it's not necessary. And I'll only take them if I'm like dying, like if I'm like dying, if I'm throwing up several times. Like, all right, I need to take something because I'm gonna throw up until I die. So I never really wanted to go anywhere or get prescribed anything because I felt like that was a big deal. But she got pills, and I think maybe she's going a little bit crazy. But Oyashiro-sama's visiting her now, which makes me think that maybe the pills like had like a negative effect on her. Oyashiro-sama though, oh my goodness, dude, I'm so glad we're playing as Rena. There's gonna be so much shit. There's a very personal episode this episode, but next episode we're gonna get crazy. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see why Rena does this shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, whatever that may be. I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me. We're almost done. I mean, this is the, what? I forget how many chapters there are. I only know how many chapters there are on Steam. And then after that, I have no idea. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 chapters after the Steam version. I think there's like 1 chapter. I don't know. Is there 1 chapter after this or 2 chapters after this? I'm not sure, but we're almost done. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Lots of visual novel content on the channel. I will see you guys in the next episode, whenever that may be, and peace out, you guys.